to look at volume and surface area, which you did in middle school, but it's been a little bit since then. So first we're going to go over like your basic shapes, and then we will talk about composite shapes, which is just when you put them together. So your formulas on your formula chart will always be with you. So locate those on your green thing. They're at the bottom. Do you guys see those? Okay, so there's lots of letters in there. So first we're just going to go through what each of the letters means, and then we'll like look at how to actually use them in the formulas. So capital B stands for area of the base.
It's all right. You had the right idea.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So if your base shape is like a triangle, you'd find the area of that triangle. If your base shape is a square, you'd find the area of that square. Similarly, capital P means perimeter of the base. So remember, perimeter is just adding up all the sides of whatever your base shape is. So H stands for height. The cursive L stands for slant height, which we'll look at that in a second, what that actually is. And then R is for radius. So whenever you're dealing with circles, you'll have a radius. And today we're just going to look at surface area. Next class we'll look at volume. So remember, surface area is, the idea is like if you're going to paint that shape, how much paint would you need? Or if you're going to like wrap a box in wrapping paper, how much wrapping paper would you need? So surface area is like the outside of a shape. So I'm going to skip all these formulas and we're just going to look at them one by one because I think it's easier that way. So first, do you guys remember the name of this shape? A pyramid, and we'll call it a square pyramid because the base is a square. I know that because it's 10 by 10, which means all the sides are the same, so I'll call this a square pyramid. So the first thing I do is I just go to my formula chart and I'm just going to write down the generic formula. So on your formula chart, go to pyramids. And then you're going to go all the way over to total surface area, and I'm just going to write that down. So total surface area is S equals 1/2 times capital P times our cursive L plus capital B. Okay, and then I like to find all my letters off to the side, and then I plug them in afterwards. So if we find our capital P off to the side, P is the perimeter of the base. The base is the square. So what's the perimeter of the square on the bottom? 40, yeah, 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. So capital P is 40. Let's see, the cursive L is our slant height. So slant height is like if you were going to go to the pyramids in Egypt and like sled down the side of the pyramid, like that's the slant height. So in this case, it's 13. The 12 that you see in there would just be the regular height. And then capital B is the area of the base. So what's the area of that square? 100, yeah, 10 times 10. So now we'll just plug in. So S equals 1/2 times 40 times 13 plus 100. And we'll just type it into our calculator. And did you guys get 360? And then surface area is always in units squared. So units squared. By the way, do you guys know why surface area is in squared units? Do you guys know why it's in squared units, or you just know you're supposed to put squared on it?
Units squared and square units.
Right. Yeah, unit squared and square units are the same thing. Okay, well, just an FYI, in case you're wondering, why do we call it square units? It's because, let's use it in terms of centimeters. If I was going to measure, the length of the length of my projector screen up here in centimeters, I might say it's that's 40 centimeters long. And so centimeters is just one dimensional, right? It's just that up and down length or something like that. If I was going to measure the area or the surface area of this, projector thingy, I might measure it in square centimeters. Square centimeters just means that you're deciding, how many squares where each side is 1 centimeter can fit on that whiteboard, essentially, is the idea. So maybe it would be 1,600 square centimeters. That just means that literally 1,600 squares where each side is worth 1 centimeter on the square can fit. That's why it's square centimeters. So when we get to volume next time, if you're finding the volume of things, volume is cubed because it's how many cubes where each side of the cube is 1 centimeter can you fit.
Wait, is that
in
why
something.
they say square feet for houses and stuff?
Yes. Because literally, if your house is 2,000 square feet, literally you could take 2,000 squares where each side is a foot long, and that's what fits on your floor. Yeah, so there you go, in case you didn't know. Okay, so questions on the first one? Okay, cool. Number 2. This guy is a cone. We'll find the formula first for total surface area, which is surface area equals.
I've heard circle cone.
Good question. That is a really good question, actually. Cones only have circles as bases, so we don't write circle. Pyramids can have lots of shapes as bases, which is why we name their base. Because we can have a square pyramid, triangle pyramid, rectangular pyramid. So that's a good question. So we've got pi r L. Sorry, my pi looks terrible.
Yeah, I was like, is that an H?
Pi r L plus pi r squared. So in this formula right here, do you guys recognize this part, the pi r squared part? What else is that a formula for? Just pi r squared.
Circle.
The area of a circle, right? So in this formula, the pi r squared part is what finds the area of the base. The pi r L part is what finds the area of the curvy side of your cone. Okay, so slant height again is going to be our 10. 6 is the radius. So that's pretty simple. So let's just go ahead and plug in. So surface area equals.
It's not asking this, but circumference is times 2, so it would be 12.
Yeah, so circumference would be 2 pi r. Mm-hmm. Circumference of a circle.
Wait, what's the one where it goes all the way across?
Diameter. Yeah, diameter. Yeah, so diameter would be 12. Mm-hmm. So pi times 6 times 10. Plus pi times 6 squared. By the way, the pi button on your calculator is if you push the blue button and then you push the button underneath clear. That's where the pi button is. Yeah, tell me. Radius? Yeah, radius is the center of a circle to the side of the circle.
Do I put the squared inside the circle? Oh.
Huh? Circles have radius and diameter. Diameter is just twice the radius. Right, just circles.
Would we round it
Which
to
one's the
3 or
part hanging
2?
out?
If it's 3 or 1.59.
Let's do 3 or 1.6
Same.
units squared.
That's 6, right?
Yeah, 3 or 1.6 units squared. Questions on this one? You guys seem like you're doing okay. Is that true? Okay, cool. Let's do 3 together, and then I'll let you guys do 4 on your own.
I got you on this. Wait, I think.
Yeah, question?
What was the units
I
for
read
code?
Unit squared. All right, so this guy is a prism, but what kind of prism? Triangular prism. Okay, a couple of notes on prisms. So in prisms, you know what the base is because the bases are always parallel, which means that if they kept going in all directions, they would never run into each other. So here's my triangular prism. The triangles are the bases because if they kept going up and down and left and right, they would never run into each other. That's why the triangle is the base of the shape. So triangular prisms have a triangular base. So it can be the base even if it's on the side, like how it is in this picture. It's still the triangle base. So in our generic formula for a prism, surface area equals perimeter of the base times height plus 2 times the area of the base. So let's come over to the side for this one and find out the P and the H and the B, and then we'll plug in. So for P, since our base is the triangle, we want to find the perimeter of the triangle. So what's the perimeter of the triangle? 16, yeah, 5 plus 5 plus 6. For capital B, B is the area of the base, so we need to find the area of the triangle. So go back and remember, what's the formula for area of a triangle? 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times the base is 6, the height is 4. The reason why I know that it's 6 and 4 is because 6 and 4 make a right angle together, and base and height always make right angles together. That's why 6 is the base and 4 is the height. So our base is 12. And what do you think the height of the whole prism is?
4.
Not 4. It's actually 15. So the height of the prism is the distance between the bases. Yeah, so height of a prism is the distance between the bases. So in this case, it's 15. If you want to like write that on your note, you can. Distance between bases. The 16 is the perimeter of our triangle, so 5 plus 5 plus 6. Okay, so now we can just plug in. Okay, if you guys are ready, you can go ahead and try number 4. Number 4 is a cylinder. So you guys can try that one out with your group, and then we'll go over it in a second together.
That's the. Wait, all the way across diameter?
Yeah, all the way across the diameter. So 4 is the
Radius
diameter.
is the half.
Radius is half a
So
diameter,
then the radius
yes.
is gotta be 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. but if it's a point nine, can you just round up to the next one?
Put it in columns. So I'm saying how you put it.
If we're rounding to the, yeah, sure, fine. When you're ready, you can look up and
So
check
is
your work.
everything gonna be unit squared?
For surface area, yes.
I forgot to put
So for this one, for the cylinder, the base of a cylinder is a circle, right? So the height is 12 because that's the distance between your circular bases. Okay, questions on that one? Still good? Cool. Let's do one more.
Formulas on test.
Yes. One more, and then we'll look at some combined ones. Okay, so this one says solve for the value of x if the total surface area is 132 square inches. So since it gave us a surface area, we're going to work backwards to find x. So this is a rectangular prism. So for prisms, I'm just going to write down my generic formula, which is that surface area equals perimeter of the base times height plus 2 times area of the base. Okay, now this is important. Which side is the base of the shape?
3 times 2.
The squares.
Can't they all be?
Kind of a trick question because they can all be the base. Because in a prism, the bases just have to be parallel, right? So the sides would be parallel, top and bottom would be parallel, front and back would be parallel.
They never cross.
Because they never cross. So whichever side you choose to be the bases, like if you choose the left and right to be the base, then your height is the distance between them, because height's always the distance between your bases. So if you pick the top and the bottom to be your base, the height would be the up and down, because that's the distance between your bases.
Yes, you can do that.
But I do think that what you guys said, using the bottom as the base would be easier, because since we need like the area of the base, it'd be easier just to do 3 times 2 instead of like 3 times an x or something like that, right? So let's have the top and the bottom be our bases for this one. Which means the perimeter would be,
10.
yes, 10. 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2.
The height is.
The height is our x. And capital B is the area of the base, so 3 times 2 or 6. So now we're just going to plug in. So 132 equals 10 times x plus 2 times 6. Yes.
I didn't think you had 6 as the base.
It's the area of the base, so it's 2 times 3.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Good question.
so can we just write it as 132 equals 10x plus 12?
Sure.
So wait, how'd you get 10? 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2 plus 2.
Yes. So now we're just going to solve for x. I'm subtracting 12 from both sides to get 120 equals 10x. And then you can divide by 10 on both sides to get that. The missing height is 12 inches. And so notice it's not square inches, it's just plain inches, because if you measure a height, that's just an up and down. Like there's no like surface to that. It's just, measure it with a ruler.
I think you should do a brain break before this one.
Okay, I'll point one thing out to you more, and then we'll do a break, because I agree, it's their long notes. Okay, so if you go back up to the top of your notes, do you see where it says surface area and lateral surface area? Lateral surface area just means surface area but no bases. So for example, if you were going to find the lateral surface area of a pyramid, that just means everything except for the bottom.
So could we literally just solve it and then subtract the area of the base?
Yes, or you can just use the lateral surface area formula,
Oh.
which essentially already has that for you. So like for a cone, lateral surface area is everything except for the circle. Or for the triangular prisms, lateral surface area is everything except for the triangles. For the cylinder, lateral surface area is everything except for the top and the bottom circles. Because in the cylinder, the circle is the base.